welcome to my Flosstube. This is the stitch list and my name is Jackie and this is Flosstube number 2. And before I get started, I did want to say a huge thank you to everyone who watched my last video, who left some of the nicest comments. Everyone in this community is so nice and I am so thankful and grateful for everyone, because I honestly thought I would maybe get like 100 views. That was kind of my goal. And last I checked, I think I was already at like 2,000. So completely blown away. And I am so incredibly thankful. So just a little bit about me, since I am a newer channel. I am a mom to 2 girls. I've been with my husband for 19 years now, since I was 22. I live in Massachusetts and I love it here. We did get a ton of snow this weekend, which makes me wish I was someplace warm and tropical, but that's okay. I do have a cat. I'm going to put her photo here because I tried bringing her to show in the video and she said absolutely not. So she's kind of a tough kitty. She's kind of a lunatic, but we do love her like deeply. So her name is Rosie. I love to craft, sew, stitch, art, everything. Like, I'm really passionate about art. I learned a lot about myself from the last video. The first is that I'm a yapper. I'm like queen yap. I love it. I love to talk. Give me a cup of coffee and an hour and I'll yap your ear off. So I am going to try and reduce my yapping in this video, just to keep it on the shorter side. And I'm also going to try and not have to edit as much, because editing did take me a long time last week. So I'm not going to be cutting between projects like I did before. And I also closed the door to my husband's office, because I know last week some of you had commented you could hear the ringing of his work phone. So hopefully that drowns that out. So let's get started. I stitched on 6 projects this week, but I am going to start with the 3 projects that I had given a preview of previously. These are all WIPS that I had started in the month of January. So my first one I'm going to do is Fruits Aplenty, and here's what it will look like finished. I do not have a photo of it before, since it is a new start. And this is by Modern Folk Embroidery. And here is where I am. And I do want to say, if there are weird shadows, I'm so sorry. We did get a ton of snow this weekend and now the sun is out. And so there's like weird reflecting off the snow happening. But I have put in so far this year 1,072 stitches out of 47,397, bringing me to 2.26%. And I am stitching this on an 18 count Ada, that is like antique white is what it's called. And I got this off of Amazon, and I am doing 2/1. And I love this piece. I know there was a lot of people in my comment section last week commenting how much they loved it, and I totally agree. It is so beautiful. And I do want to say, if you follow the creator of Modern Folk Embroidery on Instagram, you would have seen that his mom passed away. So my deepest condolences to him. He wrote the most beautiful post for her. It was so lovely. So in honor of his mom, I am going to stitch on that this week. So I'm hoping to actually get to it either today or tomorrow, depending on how long this takes me. All right, the other project I had started just like the day before I filmed last week is called the Quilt Sampler. And this is by Carolyn Manning Designs. And this was her 2018 stitch along. I bought it. I did not participate in that. I just bought this like a year or 2 ago off of her website. So I do not have a before photo because it is a new start for this year. But here is where I am. So I unfortunately did not get any stitching done on this week. I brought it to gymnastics and then I ended up yapping because I'm queen yapper. to a bunch of other parents, which was really nice. But I, so far this year, have put 492 stitches on it out of 51,492, bringing me to 0.95%. And I am stitching this on what I think is an 18 count Luca S, but I can't say for sure because I pulled this fabric from an old kit and I don't have any of the details on it, but it's been really nice to stitch on. So my goal with this project is to bring it to all of my children's activities. You know, one is in gymnastics, the other is on her dance competition team. So I have a lot of time where I just sort of am sitting waiting for them. And that one is such a nice break because it's all block stitching. And so many of my other projects have extreme confetti, like extreme. So it's kind of a nice break and it's easier to bring around than any of my other projects. So, all right. My third project I started, this was actually my New Year's Day start, is the 2026 Heaven and Earth Design Sal. And I am doing Abundance of Fruit by Severin Rosen. It's actually a very modified piece by him that was really cropped down, but I will say I think Michelle at Heaven and Earth Design did a great job cropping this. So I don't have a before photo because it's a new start this year and I have not worked on this since last video. Sorry if that got weird. My phone is about to die. So I have not worked on this since the last video, which is kind of a problem because I need to be putting, you know, a certain number of stitches into it to finish the 6 pages, but here it is. And I have put in 3,560 out of 82,596, bringing me to 4.13%. And I am stitching this on a 22 count Aida that I got off Amazon. It's not my favorite fabric, but it works. It's fine. So I love this piece. It's something I would stitch whether as part of the Sal or not. And I have seen quite a few other people posting in the Sal Facebook group and they're farther along than I am and it looks gorgeous all stitched up. So I am going to get some stitches into it this week. My goal is to get 500. Hopefully we shall see. So my next piece is my oldest WIP and it is called Rapunzel. And I did find this on Etsy. And this is the piece where I don't think it was licensed properly. So I am not putting a link for the shop in my description or anything. But if you really love this piece, if you search Rapunzel Art Nouveau, that's the style of this, you will, I'm sure it'll come up. So this week I stitched on it once and I put 305 stitches in. And, oh, here's my before photo. And here's what it looks like now. So I put 305 stitches in, bringing me to 49,066 out of 51,712, bringing me to 94.88%. And I am stitching this on what I believe is a 16 count Aida. It was just something I picked up at Michael's a long time ago, and I'm pretty sure it's 16 count, but you can see I am trying to do color completion, not super strict, but I am trying to finish out some of the colors. So I added some to here and then I filled in a lot right there. And I love this. My goal is to hopefully get her done by my birthday in April, which shouldn't be a problem. I think I have less than 3,000 stitches. So as long as I just put a little work into her every week, she'll get done fairly easily. All right, my next piece is 6 Portals, and this is by Rose Catherine Kahn, charted by Pain Free Crafts. And here is what it looked like last week. This is the piece that I had a good cry over this week, if you saw the title of my video, and I will explain in a minute, but I have put in 845 stitches this week over 3 different stitchy sessions, bringing me to a total of 10,845 out of 964,800, which is 1.12%. And here it is. She is so big. I like don't even know how to fit in the frame with her. I am stitching this on a 25 count Zweigart that I got from Hirschner's, 1/1. And you can see that I did some orange stitching here, and then I moved to Portal 2 and added all of this black. And my plan is to move across the entire piece. And the reason for that is because I realized that my fabric is cut crooked. So here in Portal 1, I had given myself about 3 blocks to, you know, as a margin, which was great. But when I get over to Portal 6, which will be somewhere down here, I will have to be stitching up here, and then we'll literally only have like 1.5 blocks. So I had a good cry because I felt like my stitching was ruined. I was gonna have to restart the piece, you know, just having kind of a drama moment. But after that, I sort of had a reality check, and I figured out that, you know, I made the decision that I'm not restarting. We're gonna keep going. I love this piece so, so much and want to keep stitching it, and will be stitching it probably the rest of my life. So I think what I'm going to do is just sew fabric along the top, and then go from there. And hopefully that will be enough to allow me. My biggest concern is putting it in a hoop, because I like my tension drum tight, and that will be hard to do with it being so close to the edge. But I think if I sew extra fabric, I'll be okay. All right, and then after that, I worked on Traveling Library, and this is a piece by Amy Stewart, charted by Heaven and Earth Design. And I stitched this just one day. So here is my before, and here she is now. Bring it back. So I put in 417 stitches, bringing me to 16,417 out of 401,500 stitches. And that brings me to 4.09%. I am stitching this on that 22 count Amazon fabric, and it's fine. I'm gonna stop complaining about it. But as you can see, I mostly worked across here, and I did a little bit right there, but I'm trying to work across this piece and probably down and around for a few reasons. The biggest being that I'm now so paranoid that all of my fabric is cut wrong. You know, it's a little rattled from 6 portals. So I want to just make sure it fits. The other thing is I am getting a little bored here. I've been mostly in this corner here. And it looks beautiful. I'm filling in all the pieces, and it's so nice, but I do want to hit some other areas to kind of change things up. And then that way, once I've stitched all the way around, I would have choices as to where I wanted to stitch next. So, all right. After that, I worked on Patchwork Quilt Room. This is by my Italian bestie, Cirio Marchetti, which no clue if that's how you pronounce his name, but we are going to go with that until he corrects us. And so I worked on this one day, and here's what it looked like before. And here I put in 302 stitches, and that brings me to 2,802 stitches out of 343,000, which is 0.82%. And I filled in this pillow here because I finally got that color. I then filled in some of this black in the wallpaper and kind of worked my way down, and I realized I was super close to the flowers, which I needed some color because I've been doing a lot of green. So I started doing the flowers. So with this piece, I am trying to keep it tight, I guess is how you would say it. I'm trying really hard to not travel too far and just keep fill in areas, which is kind of what I did this stitchy session. So it's exciting that I hit the flowers because now I'll get some variety of colors here, but I love this piece. And I am stitching this on 25 count Zweigart that I got from Hirschner's, and I'm doing this 1/1. So hopefully I can get some stitches on it this week. All right, next up are my goal pieces. So I have 2 pieces that I am using to stay motivated in life. My first is my steps. So my plan is that I really want to get back into running. I really want to get healthy. I really want to get my steps up. So every week I would look at the average steps I've taken. Right now I'm just using my iPhone, which is like not totally great because I keep leaving my iPhone places and not bringing it with me when I walk around. But for now it works until I can get my Garmin watch sorted out. But the first 2 weeks of January, this is my notebook where I track everything. It was a gift from my sister for Christmas and it's been perfect. So the first 2 weeks of January, I did 1 week, 2,430. So that's 243 stitches. I'm just cutting off that end digit. The next week I did 2,726 steps, average steps, which I know is low, but again, this is new, and it was like Christmas break and stuff, so I'm gonna give myself a little break on that. And that brings me to 272 stitches. So I owed this piece. I should probably tell you, the piece is Mountain Wildflowers, and I got this off of Etsy from a shop called Sweet Violet Stitch Co. And the artist is Roseberry Sunset, which I really hope that's her real name. And I'm stitching this on 25 count Zweigart from Hirschner's, and I'm doing it 1/1. And hold on, I decided to switch things up. I'm usually a left corner start kind of girl, but I said, you know what? I don't want to just stitch sky. So I don't have a before photo because this is a new start this week. But here's what I got to. And sorry, I am going to be parking a bit on this project because I did exactly 515 stitches. I did not go over. I was so good because I really want to use this as motivation. I was so sad to stop stitching. I wanted to keep going. So I'm already like more motivated than ever to get my step count up and have done much better this week already. But I did get the numbers for last week. So last week, my average step count was 2,904. So I now owe this 290 stitches. So I'm hoping every week that number improves. My goal is to hopefully get to like an average of like 8,000 steps a week. So I can put 800 stitches in this every week, but we shall see. So that is that piece, and I love it. And, you know, a lot of people were really supportive of this in the comments, which I'm so thankful for. And if you want to join me, definitely go ahead. I don't have like a hashtag yet for it. If someone really cares, I can set one up on Instagram and stuff. But let me know, what are you stitching and how it's going? And, you know, if you need motivation, let me know. We can try and rally behind each other. So all right, my other goal piece is where I have made a list of goals, and I'm going to insert it here. One thing I wanted to note, I tried posting it in my description box of my last video, but unfortunately, because I'm a new channel, I had to go through this like verification process to get it as like a link you can actually click on, and I'm still working on that. So for right now, you can kind of view it here, zoom in maybe, but I owed, so basically every time I complete one of these 2026 goals, which is just a way for me to kind of like make sure I'm getting out of the house, make sure we're doing fun things. Last year was really hard because I had surgery, my husband had surgery, and we had a lot of time recovering at home. So was just like a weird year. And I think you hear that from a lot of people. 2025 was not kind to many people. So this year I'm trying to stay motivated. I'm trying to get out of the house. I'm trying to make sure that we do fun things, that I accomplish personal goals, that my children accomplish goals that they've set. So I've created this list. And so far this year, I have been able to cross one thing off, and I'm going to insert the video of that here. And as you can see, this is something that has a star next to it. That means it's something we can do multiple times and will count as something new. And I think the way I'm going to do that is I'm just going to put a heart emoji right next to the item. So even though it's crossed off, it's like, okay, I've done this once. If we go to the movies again, I'll add another heart emoji. So that way I can kind of keep track of how many times I've done it. But so for this piece, I owed it 500 stitches because we did go to the movies on January 2nd. And I am using the piece Spring Castle. And this is also from Sweet Violet Stitch Co. off of Etsy. And the artist here is Shelby Gipp. And I'm stitching this on 22 count Aida 2/1. This is the last piece of my Amazon fabric that is sort of like, so I'm kind of glad to use that up. And this is actually stitching up beautifully, so it's fine. So I owed this piece 500 stitches. I do not have a before photo because this was a new start just like 2 days ago. So here it is. And again, this was so hard to stop at 500, like so hard. I'm so motivated to keep trying new things. But I mostly just stuck to this top going across. So my goal is to go across and hit that middle section. So you can kind of see where that fold is right there is where the castle should be about. So my goal is to stitch across, and then that way I can start stitching the castle and go kind of back and forth, because this is just a lot of blue and like white and gray, and there's not a lot of color variation there. So I want a few different areas that I'll, can put stitches on. So I actually will owe this piece another 500 for this week, because yesterday we went sledding with friends, which was super fun. So I don't really have a video because my children, I don't want to show their faces and their friends' faces online. So I will insert the video of me from the morning panning around so you can see kind of how much snow we got. And you can see my youngest there making snow angels, which is so cute. So we got a ton of snow. We went and met up with friends. It was so fun. We didn't stay for super long, but my daughter was able to go back and have a play date with a friend afterward, which was really so cute. She had a really good time. So that will be stitched on this week. We will cross that off for next week. I am hoping we do have tickets to go see the Ice Castle up in New Hampshire this weekend, which would be another thing I could cross off. Unfortunately, they're calling for awful weather again, which, we live in New England. It's always a gamble in the winter to do outdoor activities. So that one's kind of up in the air, but I have started working on some other things. So in progress right now, I have been spending a lot of time learning how to crochet. I've watched a video by, I want to say the channel is Mima Stitches. I'll put it along the bottom. She has some really good tutorials. So that's in progress. And then I also have started organizing my fabric to start working on my English paper piecing quilt. And I will put, I want to say her name is Emma. I can't remember her channel name. I'll put that along the bottom. She has a great tutorial for English paper piecing. And so I've been watching her and kind of learning to make sure that I know what I'm doing, which we'll see. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. I want to keep stitching on these projects, so I need to keep motivated and keep doing things. And that so far this month, this has worked out really well, and I'm really pleased. So, all right. So the only other thing I wanted to show was I did purchase a cross stitch kit from, not a kit, a cross stitch pattern from 123 Stitch. And this is from Plum Street Samplers, and this is called American Welcome. You can see it's very like Americana without being too much, like too in your face. And now I did purchase, so I purchased a piece of linen. This is from Fiber on a Whim, and it's hand-dyed 36 count Edinburgh linen in, I think it's Moonstone. I'm assuming that's the name. So as you can see, just like a creamy, this was what was recommended on 123 Stitch, but I have no idea how you all stitch on linen. I cannot even see these holes. I am so blind. I've been looking like what do you mean? I have to I don't even know where to put my needles. So I think, you know, I wear contacts and I am like legit blind without them. And even with a magnifier, I think I would have a really hard time seeing this. So I'm not sure if we're going to be stitching on this. If not, I have more of an Ada that is like a creamy color that I think would work just as well. I love the look of linen because you don't see as many holes, but I truly have no idea how people stitch on this. So I am going to give it a try. I don't have high hopes for it, and that's okay. If I end up not using this linen, I will either give it to a friend or give it to someone else that I know would use it. So this piece though, I really wanted to have an American piece because we are celebrating our 250th anniversary as a country this year. And here in New England, it's like a huge deal. I don't know how it is in other parts of the country, but I live in a coastal historic town. So we've had parades. I'll insert, I think I have a video of like a parade we went to in the fall that was like celebrating the landing or something of the troops. They've had like Paul Revere reenactments where you would have thought it was like Elvis showing up.
Oh, you're not alone tonight.
They've had, and I think it was Gloucester, maybe it was Marblehead. They had like this whole weekend festival this summer where they reenacted the British troops landing. So it's like it's wild over here. So my family will be celebrating a bit. You know, my town, I'm sure, is going to have stuff. My mom is turning 80 in April. And the one thing she requested is that the entire family get together for something called Sail Boston. And it's where all the tall ships come into the Boston Harbor and they do like tours and cruises. And I have a huge family. I think I mentioned this last week, but I'm the youngest of 5 girls. And there's 6 granddaughters now, and there's 2 great-granddaughters. So we're a family of all girls. We're a big family. We all live all over the country. Like my sister's in Pennsylvania. I have one out in Nevada, another up in New Hampshire. So a couple in New Hampshire, actually. So we're all coming together for my mom, which is going to be really nice. So I kind of wanted to have a project that would also represent that. And this is why I chose this one too, because you can see the little sailboats, and these houses look like houses in my town. Like there's like actual houses that look like this one especially. So yeah, I thought that was a really good one. So I'm not sure when I'll get this started, but it was like, oh, I should wait until the 4th of July. But I think I want to start it sooner than that. So maybe I'll start it. My mom's birthday's in April as well, early April. So maybe for her birthday, I'll have this be my mom's birthday start. So other than that, I think that is everything. I did get a question on my Instagram from someone who, I won't share their name in case they don't want people to know, but how I decide what project to work on next. And to be honest, I don't really have a plan. I mean, I have my charts. So like I know for 6 portals, like I want to put in 50,000 stitches into that. So like I know it's a project that I have to kind of work on every single week. But I really just go based on what's calling to me and what feels good. So I do feel like I have considered doing like the wheels. I know a lot of stitchers have had success with spinning a wheel and letting that, help them decide. But I don't think I really need that just yet. So my plan for this week is definitely my Heaven and Earth design, Sal, Abundance of Fruit. Definitely Rapunzel, because I want to get her finished. Definitely 6 portals, because I have to, because I have lofty goals for that one. I want to stitch on modern folk embroidery in honor of the creator's mother. And then from there, I probably will have time for like 1 or 2 other projects. Oh, I have to stitch on my steps piece. And then I also have to stitch on, sorry, my phone is about to die. So I have to stitch on my steps piece and I have to stitch on my goals piece. So I have those 2. And then from there, probably like 1 or 2 more that I could fit in, depending on how my week goes. I do have kind of a busy week, but I think because I've done, like I'll probably pull a piece I haven't worked on. I have like 2 or 3 that I did not touch this week. So that will be what I pull from. So probably my pieces Azul or Ani Hime from Margaret Morales would be like the next pieces I touch. So, but otherwise I don't really have anything super strict for myself. I just go on vibes. I always think of that like turtle from Nemo, like how he's so chill, and that's how I kind of am with stitching. I try not to like lose my mind over it. So, yeah, I think that's everything. So if you made it this far, thank you so much. I truly appreciate this all. In the comments below, let me know what you are stitching on, because I'm always looking for my next project. So with that, I hope everyone has a really great stitchy week, and I will talk to you all soon. Bye. Thanks for watching. If you'd like, you can go ahead and follow me on Instagram, or feel free to send me an email. And don't forget to like and subscribe.